tastes like seafood from San Sebastian, Spain. Okay? Have you ever had seafood in San Sebastian? Try it. You'll like it. Mikey likes it. Just give it to Mikey. You know. The devil is in the devil is in the details. No, the devil is in the details, okay? Come on, let's get going. And by the way, one more criticism. Why doesn't every guitarist go completely ape there? Why? Is it guitar that you guys have to be reserved? You should be going crazy there. Harmonically, it's almost the culmination of the entire concerto. And then what does the orchestra do? It's like a Sophia Loren picture or something. Like El Cid, you know? Gavort.
Bravo. Such a joyous concerto. Thank you so much, Xiang Xu. It's wonderful to hear you. Let's start with Richie.
That was absolutely stunning performance. I would say the slow movement was absolutely transcendental. It's one of the most glorious pieces of music ever written, and it was just, I don't know about you, but it transported me. It was absolutely appropriate. Every sound he made. Well, to me, a great artist is simply this. This is the definition for me. One who makes the right sound at the right time. That's it. You don't have to say, oh, it's all this other stuff.
Because it's so easy.
It's very simple. Whoever makes the right sound at the right time, think about it.
Of course.
Space between the notes, blah, blah, blah. Depth of key, angle of descent, the whole ball of wax. This guy absolutely has the piano figured out. And it's beautiful. It's spontaneous playing. It's it was improvisatory. The slow movement was as operatic or free as a bird as you could want. And I really like the interruptions from the orchestra. I like that maestro. She was she wasn't with him all the time in the last movement, but he's demanding there a little bit. But it was interesting. It was an interesting interplay. He covered it very well. He's a good piano conductor person because he covers when the conductor screws it up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Gevorg, right? Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. No,
I'm
not saying any conductor screws it up, but there are conductors that are simply not listening to the soloist. And this guy was listening to the conductor, if you noticed.
And vice versa.
Yeah, just hold on. I'm not done yet. Okay. All right. So look.
It will be long, huh?
No, it's not going to be a long time. It was absolutely perfect playing in many ways. I would say in the last movement, he could go a little bit slower and it can be much more of a, I hate to, by the way, Gevorg or Navard, is that a rondo?
It's a rondo.
Yeah.
Rondo.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Sorry, Chris, you too. Yeah, it's a rondo. So therefore,
everyone knows it.
Therefore it has to, it was a little pushed, but not rushed. He never rushed. But the overall tempo for the harmonies, it was exciting to hear it at that tempo, But I felt in the trills, he could have filled those trills out so much more. Instead, they were sort of like the most you could do at that tempo kind of thing. I prefer a more dance-like, complicated theme than what he presented. It was a little too straightforward. It was a little too driving. But all in all, great. And also, I thought it was interesting where that interplay between the orchestra and the piano, where they go dun 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 dun, he diminuendos every one of those left-hand passages. I've never heard that before. I remember most pianists just clobber the end of that phrase, and then they cut it off, But he went, and I've never heard that before. And that's an interesting alternative interpretively to that passage where the right hand goes and he went if you notice at the end each time. yeah, pianistically, this, I mean, it's just beautiful playing without that karate chop Yu Jia Wang approach, you know. I mean, it's just absolutely cannot stand her playing because everything's the same and it's all loud and fast and whatever it is. This guy is an artist and he has a thought process and he has something I would say critical to say. He has something critical to say, especially in the slow movement. That's all I have to say.
Performer Sumedha Jayaraman, and she will be performing on a very unique, please pay attention, this is an extremely interesting instrument, Veena. She's in the age group of 15 to 18 and she is originally from India, currently based in the United States. Sumedha, the stage is all yours. Welcome.
This is a South Indian instrument. It's called the Veena. It's a stringed instrument. Today I'll be playing a piece called a Varnam in Indian classical music. It's called Mathe Malvadhwaja, and the composer is Muthaiva Bhagavathar.
Wow. That is so wonderful. Thank you so much, Sumedha, for bringing this piece and this instrument.
Thank you.
It's wonderful. Michelle, to you.
I would like to thank you. That was wonderful. I'd love to know a little bit more about your instrument. Like, how long have you been playing? How many strings do you have? How many frets are there? It's so interesting. It's my first time seeing it.
Yeah, sure. I've been playing the instrument for around 10 to 11 years. There's 4 main strings. Right now I've tuned it to E. It's like you have to tune each string to a specific note. So this is tuned to E, and then you have 4 other notes. And then you have 3 extra like rhythm-based notes where you just use to like keep track of the rhythm. So in total there's 7 strings. Yeah.
Can you play them all individually once for us?
Yeah. So this is the first one. This is the second one. And then the 3 rhythm notes they're all tuned to like, yeah.
The same harmony, yeah. And it's so well tuned.
And how do you differentiate between the notes and the rhythm notes that you're saying? Like, what makes the difference?
So the idea is that like for the main notes, you have all of the different frets, right? So you can play like different. But then for these 3 notes that are behind the instrument, you can only tune them to a specific note, and you kind of just play it like on the downbeat of every. So basically, there's like a rhythm for every like 8 notes. It's 1 cycle. So in the downbeat of every like cycle, you play the rhythm notes.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was hearing.
I wanted to also ask a question. It's actually coming from our show director, who is a composer, Ante Božić-Kudurić, texted me. He can't come on screen because he's handling a lot of tech on the back end. But I join in that question. Now, the piece you played, is it notated? And if so, how? And how much is improvisation involved?
Okay, so basically, the first 1 minute was improvised. So basically, before every like piece, usually the artist plays like around 1 minute of improvised notes in that particular scale. So each song is set to a particular scale, or where like there are set notes that you have to play. But then within those notes, you can improvise for like 1 minute to like show the mood of that particular scale, and then the rest is set.
And how is it notated?
Basically, like it differs from school to school, I guess. Like the main structure or main like tune of the song is like the same across like all of India, I guess. But then like the particular like lines, it has the same idea, but like it differs from how your teacher teaches it to you.
How fascinating. Michelle, to you.
Thank you so much for educating us about this amazing instrument. I just found it on Wikipedia, and I'm looking forward to getting in more. So I just thought overall your rhythm was excellent. I know that's why you're spending time explaining the rhythm strings. It makes a lot of sense. And every 8 beats, as you were saying, I think, or it cycles through, we could really hear that repetitiveness. And I like the improvisation aspect of what you're doing. I thought your sound is really great. Like the tone of the instrument is really warm and vibrant. So I just think there's maybe some, and like I'm a pianist, we're both pianists, right? So we're giving you our perspective as musicians, but of course you know what you're capable of technically on the instrument. But I think from this improvisational aspect of the music, there can be much more freedom after that initial strum. So you release the energy, drum, and then you had all of these beautiful phrases that were coming through. And I think there can be a lot more variation in the tone to kind of bring us through the phrase. And then we come back down again to have that, again, that strum of energy that comes through. That's going to provide a lot more interest too and keep us in the flow. And I thought, what was the other thing I wanted to say? Well, your technique and your positioning and your poise is very good. Like you're obviously very well prepared. You look very comfortable behind the instrument. So I think that there's maybe some more freedom that you can take. Oh yeah. At the end, I was wondering about the dynamics because I wasn't hearing a very big range in them. But then at the end, you did come down and you showed us like a very nice piano color. So I think that you can play a lot more with that, even within the big energetic part of the piece, that you could still show some variation in the dynamics because that's going to draw us in much more musically interesting as well.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I agree with Michelle. Now, there's probably some cultural prescription on how you improvise on this instrument within the that spectrum of dynamics and phrasing and everything. But we are now in the world mix of all instruments, and piano becomes one of thousands, and yours is also. There are some underlying principles in how you draw your listeners, your audience, draw their attention and hold their attention throughout the story. And it is based on the same things, basically. I mean, the technique is different, instrument looks different and all of that, but the basic underlying principles are more or less the same. It's emotional journey throughout the piece. So you're telling the story in the piece. And if that falls into the culture of your instrument, I would like to also join my voice to what Michelle was saying. It's really enjoyable to hear that strumming and the rhythm and coming back to it, and it has a dancing element even in there. At the same time, you want to unfold the story. In other words, you, even throughout the repetitiveness, it's like a spiral movement. In each spiral, on each circle of that spiral, something new happens, and you play new notes. So if you add to the new notes maybe more development dynamically, we will be even more drawn. I was drawn already to this playing, but it is magic. It's extremely interesting and very, very engaging.
And I was just thinking as well with you're plucking with your fingers, right? You're not using your nails at all?
No, there's like a nail kind of extension that you use to go.
Oh, how interesting. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Can you show us just like kind of slow motion what you're...
Yeah, so this is the...
Okay.
nail.
Got it.
You're just plucking with...
Yeah, okay, so that's what I was wondering, because with guitarists, they have their nails shaped to a very specific angle in order to get a different tone. So I was wondering, as Dr. Anna explained so perfectly, I think you really need to unfold the storyline, and so every new strum of energy kind of takes us to a new variation or improvisation. And so if you can alter the speed at which you pluck the string, that's going to give you a different sound. And maybe this is part of the technique that you studied with your teacher, but I think that would be something to really think about, because in piano we have like the speed of attack is going to give us different sound variations, different colors of the instrument. So I think that would provide different colors even when you're in that big climax part of the piece, that we could still hear tone differences. That could be really interesting. And I also want to say that blue is just so beautiful. It's just a nice outfit that you have.
Yeah.
What are you wearing? Can you tell? It's traditional outfit, right?
Yeah, it's called a pavade. It's a traditional Indian outfit.
Okay, well, it
so
just looks
gorgeous.
So great on you. Yeah. Yeah,
I think the whole presentation is just so gorgeous. The dress, the instrument is very elegant, and I love that plant which you have in there. It's important. The stage needs to be set, and you said it so well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So well done. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. And that was Sumedha Jayaraman performing on Veena, traditional Indian instrument, and she's originally from India, now based in the United States.